Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time doing another film review, and this one is on the 2019 film Joker. Now, as you know, Joker is meant to be a theatrical filler film that was directed and produced by Todd Phillips, and it's also meant to feature the iconic character Joker, played by Joaquin Phoenix, as well as being a alternative story to the character, which is meant to be set in 1981. So you can kind of tell there's a lot more like late 70s mixed with the early 80s nostalgic, and we see how Gotham basically has become more of a slum pool with crime and corruption high, people looking for jobs, also basically a giant cesspool. And we are introduced by Arthur Fleck, who is basically meant to be this party clown, inspiring stand-up comedian, and is meant to live in his own personal hell, where he's basically the world's punching bag, where people give him a hard time, his mother basically dotes on him, basically he's seen as a failure by his boss, and basically one bad thing leads to another, and that bad thing leads to more. And we kind of see how Arthur is quick to set himself up for a hard fall, like openly accepting a gun from his friend Randall, even though Randall was just going to quickly use him as the fall guy when he gets found out. And we are kind of shown how he tries to be a stand-up comedian at a club, even though it's clear that it's going to basically sink him even lower. And we also do see how once Arthur is off his medication that he needs, as well as the fact that Gotham's high elite cut off the funding, we see how Arthur starts to slowly become what people have turned him into. And we also see how Arthur slowly becomes the Joker and inspires the lesser people of Gotham into starting a revolution. And I would say the movie comes off as a bit of a cautionary tale and a bit more of a darker side to the Joker. It's a cautionary tale that sometimes the people we push around can sometimes end up becoming something worse, and that sometimes we end up becoming what people force us to become. And I think the point of Arthur is that he's a character you do kind of sympathize with, and when you do kind of learn more about the way he is, you start to feel a little bit sorry for him. And I would say the movie does come off as a little bit similar to 1 Hour Photo, because he has a boss who doesn't give a rat's ass about him. But the difference is in 1 Hour Photo is that Cy's boss, Bill, wanted Cy to be in his full potential, while Arthur's boss is just pretty much straight up giving him a hard time. And I would also say what makes Joaquin Phoenix work as basically the Joker, he slowly starts to get into this sort of make-believe world, because he kind of thinks his idol, who's a talk show host, Murray Franklin, is going to sort of be supportive and sort of wants to be something like him. And it becomes clear that Murray starts to see Arthur more as a promotional material after he makes a complete fool of himself. And this does remind me a bit of of Get Him to the Greek, where basically, as soon as Alder Snow wrote that song African Child, people saw him as a promotional material. And I think what I do like about Thomas Wayne being a snarky kind of rich asshole is that it's a step away from the character, and it kind of gives you that realistic approach that not everyone is exactly gonna see everyone on a high standard. And I think that definitely works for Thomas Wayne. And I would also say what I do like about the movie is that it takes a break from superheroes and gives a different side of it. And that, yeah, people aren't always going to see your full potential. There is always going to be people who push you around, and there are people that, are still going to sort of try to be there for you despite what happens. And I still think that, yeah, when you kind of got the single mother and Arthur's love interest, Sophie, I kind of feel there was a lot they could have done for her. I just feel having her as a bit of the neighbour character, you don't see much of her. So you kind of expected there to have been a bit more time with her. But I think by the end of it, Joker does deliver a good story. That, yeah, one bad day can lead to a bad outcome, and you end up becoming what people have turned you into. So I think the movie deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.